So Dan Bongino, just in case you didn't know, is a great radio host, but he also served as a Secret Service agent under Barack Obama. In this video, he asked Tucker Carlson to share his prediction regarding the 2024 presidential election, and it's scary. Listen to this.
One of my core beliefs about life is that nothing is static, everything is dynamic. It's moving in one direction or another. And it's so hard to adjust to that as a human being because you want everything to stay the same, but nothing ever does. So if you want to know what things are going to look like in the future, just chart out what has been happening recently and ask yourself, are things accelerating or decelerating? Are they moving up, down, right, left? I mean, just chart it out. And in the case of Trump, they started with protests, they moved to impeachment. Now they're at indictment. None of it has worked. What's next? What could possibly be next? If you felt, and you really believed it, and a lot of them do, that the worst thing that could happen to the country, and more specifically to you, in the professional class, is to have Donald Trump as president, and everything you have tried has failed, and they have been accelerating steps, protests, impeachment, indictment. Like, how many more arrows do you have in your quiver? And what's the next one? And of course, it's assassination. And assassination happens around the world. I had dinner with former president of Haiti in my house last night. His successor was murdered in his bed in the presidential palace in Port-au-Prince. And he's hardly alone. People get assassinated. I mean, they've been assassinated in this country far more
Just
often
happened in
than
Japan.
we're willing to admit. It
With a
happened
former.
in Japan. That's exactly right. So it's not crazy. And of course, it's the last thing I want. I said it directly to Trump, by the way, because it's so obvious. How could you not say that? So I did. And he did not engage with me at all on that subject. And I don't know what he actually thinks of it, but he's smart. And so he must know that that's true. But why? So again, it's just another example of what you said a minute ago wisely. If you want to know what's true, look at the things you're not allowed to say. You're not allowed to say them not because they're conspiracy theories or lies. You're not allowed to say them precisely because they are not conspiracy theories or lies. They are true.
Yeah.
And that is true, period.
Let me ask you a question. It wasn't part of my rundown here, but you got me thinking about something. Trump's up in a lot of these swing state polls. You know, they're polls, I get it, acute moments in time, anything could change, but just take it for what it's worth. He's got a decent chance of winning. If he were to win this thing, we have obviously this period between November and January and the swearing in. I'm not sure that's going to go well. I'm trying to be understated here. I don't think that's going to end well.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm taking a deep breath because I have so many thoughts, most of which I'm not going to express because I have no evidence other than my own intuition and what seems obvious. And I think we probably share exactly the same views on this. Look, they have set up Donald Trump as president as the one thing they can't tolerate. Now, that's anti-democratic right there. Democracy demands that people who didn't vote for a candidate submit to his rule if he wins democratically. That's a baseline requirement for democracy. All of us have been through it. Some guy you hate gets elected, and you have to sit there and be like, okay, he's the president, he's my president, it's my country, and I'm going to sit there like a good little boy as he reigns. I disagree with him, but I'm not going to try and kill him because I believe in the system. That's kind of the traditional Western view of democracy. They don't have a Western view of anything. They don't believe in democracy. So they're not bound by the normal rules that the rest of us are and have been for 250 years. So I just don't think they're going to tolerate it. I don't think they think like us. They're not like, well, he won. I guess we should let him govern. They didn't do that last time, and they definitely won't do it this time. And of course, the difference now is we know exactly who they are. We know exactly what they think. And we know to some extent the lengths they will go to get their will. And they don't have any boundaries at all. They use the U.S. military against the American population. So who would do that? Well, people who don't have limits would do that. So what are their boundaries in this case? I literally don't think they have boundaries. And I think that we should be prepared, at least internally, psychologically, for them to do anything.
So two very important facts from Tucker Carlson here. First, we were caught off guard in 2020. That's true. And second, we now know what Democrats are capable of in 2024. And that's the scary part.
Strong will not once again take power in the United States.
Well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by if he does run, making sure he under legitimate efforts of our Constitution does not become the next president again.
Democrats are trying to put Donald Trump in jail. It's not working. Now they're trying to remove him from the ballot. We know it's not going to work because Donald Trump was never charged with an insurrection. And just in case you didn't know, he was acquitted during his second impeachment over his involvement in January 6th. So in my opinion, bro, this is not the 60s, okay? We all know what happened in the 60s, but nah, we know how desperate the left is, but they won't be able to touch that man. It's not going to happen. I think Donald Trump is well protected. He is well protected, bro. But if somehow they're able to do it, then God help us all, because this country will be divided to a point of no return. You let me know what you think about this in the comment section. God bless Tucker Carlson. God bless Dan Bongino. Catch you on the next one. God bless you.
Strong will not once again take power in the United States.
Well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by if he does run, making sure he, under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again.